And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, what is happening after 21 hours of traveling back from the fantastic Dublin, Ireland? Mitch, I love Dublin, Ireland. But I hate the travel back and forth. It absolutely sucks. But finally I got here, and it's time to go to work because we got a lot of fights to talk about. We've got so much stuff that's been going on. What is up, my man? I miss you. How is your grandmother?
She is doing really well. I mean, as well as could be expected. She's 95 years old. So, they have a hard time. She's not walking now. She's kind of like in a wheelchair. She's, but she's responding. She's communication, and having some conversation, able to kind of spend some time with the kids and the family and everything like that. So had some good times. It was good. 15-hour drive up, 15-hour drive back, 15-hour drive up. There was no snow in sight. Then I'm there for the 5 days. On the way back, I'm driving back. Everywhere I drove on the way back, it was like 6 to 7 feet. It was like white Christmas. It was like 6 to 7 feet of plowed snow all along the sides of the road. I felt like I was driving in a tunnel the whole way back, all the way until I got all the way down to like almost Redding into California.
Really?
Yeah, it was. California had way more snow up there, and like Wairika.
Did you see? It was snowing in Saudi Arabia.
Really?
Yes.
Jeez.
The guys are sitting there. They
does
got
Al Gore know about this?
Camels with snow all over them, right?
This
and
is
they go,
awesome.
yeah, global warming. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking.
It snowed where my son lives in California, in Los Angeles. It snowed.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. Wow. Interesting. I wasn't here this whole week, so it was we had a good time, man. The mountains here in San Jose are all packed. They're all packed with snow now. So you can see the mountains from here, but it snowed a little bit in Santa Cruz also. Didn't really stick in Santa Cruz, but I mean, you're right there off the ocean in Santa Cruz. Yeah. Look, it was fun. Had a good trip. It was good to see my grandmother. Saw some old high school friends and hung out with them. Had some lunch and some dinner. Hung out with Trevor. Taught a class at his gym. He's got a great facility up there called Trevor Prangley's AKA. It's an American Kickboxing Academy. And he's got a great program up there. He's got some really, really good jiu-jitsu black belts, man, that I've rolled with a little bit. And they're phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
Tearing you up, huh?
Bro, yeah, they're young. It's so funny.
It sucks.
John, one of the kids.
No, take no offense. It is just the way it is, man. Yep. It happens. It's like, yeah, let's go easier.
John,
let's flow roll.
One of these kids, he flowed with me just fine, thank God.
Yeah.
He plays a lot of deep half, like X-Guard, De La Hiva, reverse De La Hiva. So he's really into that. One of the guys that I roll with. And his name's Cody. I've known this kid since he was maybe 8, 9 years old. Now he's older. Like Scott, he's got a wife, all this. I'm like, damn, man, I feel like he really feels old.
Man. And you're going, shit, I'm getting old.
He's a black belt. You never think that these kids will stick with it this long. He fell in love with it. And, he's kind of been wherever Trevor's been. Trevor and another guy who passed away, one of our other friends. Derek Cleveland, he passed away recently, and then they had a gym together from before, and then him and Trevor split, and then Trevor went and did his own thing and opened up an AKA. And I got to be honest, man, he's got something going up there that's real special. It's a good program, good program, huge. I mean, he's like a 10,000 square foot gym. It's like a big barndominium kind of thing. He's got one of those things, and he's got like a kickboxing class on one side and a fitness class on the other, and he's got it going on. Got a great program.
Good for him.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saw him and he got together with his wife and the family and stuff, and we had some pho up there. I was like, man, pho? You get some pho?
Pho in Idaho.
I know, but it was actually good. I was surprised. I had to give it a try, man. So because they had a pho place there before, it was horrible. It's still there, which I'm starting to wonder if it's like a cover for drugs or something, because I have no idea how they would stay in business. No idea. And I'm like, but then they have a new one that's there, and it's really good. It's good. So,
dude, I want to let you know, man. First off, I had a whole lot of people ask, "Where's Josh?" They missed you. Yeah. Okay, fighters and everybody. But man, did I have a gazillion? And a gazillion is a lot.
Yeah.
A gazillion people come up talking about the podcast. All the fighters say, man, I'm listening to your podcast. I'm really enjoying stuff now. You guys are great together and stuff. I go, Yeah, it's all me. Don't worry, it's not Josh.
John, maybe they didn't watch the last one because the comments said, this ain't it, guys. they said the banter back and forth is a lot better.
And I want you to know it's coming. Okay?
What is?
It is coming. Just so you know, it's coming. Because, see, I never listened to what you had said, because we did that separately, right? And Dave put it together, right? And I had no idea that you, being the mathematician that you are,
it's great.
Said, "Oh yeah, they're fantastic. Look at that, 26-0 and 14-1, 30 fights." You dumb son of a.
Did I say 30?
You did.
Did I say 30?
And Sean Grande is going to eat you alive.
I heard it on the broadcast.
Oh, that was part of it. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He's like, Josh, he said something about me being in my maths or something.
Oh, your math skills are incrable.
Oh, they're fantastic, man. Right off the top of my head. I thought I said 40 because it's 40, right? Yeah, it's 40.
41.
Yeah. Is it 41? Well, it's 41 now.
No.
Yeah, because it was. Well, no. I meant wins.
No.
Maybe the way I said it. I meant the wins.
40. If you actually go on with both of them, it's 43.
No, because it was, wasn't he 26 and 14? It was 14 and 1.
26-0.
Yeah, versus 14 and 1.
14-1. What is that?
26-14. That's 40.
And 1?
No, I said wins.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, they're wins.
40 wins in 41 fights.
No, I got you. What did I say? I didn't know what I said.
Exactly. That's the problem.
But I do know what I was trying to say. I was trying to say
too.
You had 40 wins between the two of them. And just
did
one
not
loss.
come out the way it was supposed to for you. I just want you to know. And you now have a giant target on your back.
Oh, absolutely.
It's coming.
Wait, John, have you not ever been around me at a Bellator event?
I'm just telling you, you're going to get a shirt that's going to have like mathematical equations or something on it saying, "I'm Josh Thompson, and 26, 14-1 is 30.
You're trying to now you're just trying to confuse me even more. You start putting numbers in front of me, it gets even more complicated. It's true. I'm like, when I start seeing them, I'm like, this is just not going to work, man. I get like flustered. I get flustered. But overall, how was the Bellator event? Like in terms of behind the scenes, how was it?
Behind the scenes, as far as really, especially with some of the young fighters that we've seen coming up, man, I'll tell you, Josh, these guys that are 145 pounds are freaking huge. It's amazing. I'm sitting there going, how the hell are you making 145 pounds? Mm-hmm. And in fact, Kenny Mokohana is just, from SBG there. And he talked to me. He says, "Man, I listen to you and Josh all the time." And, I said, well, "That's awesome, man. Thank you." I said, "I'll give you a shout out." So Kenny Mokohana, what is up, dude? You look fantastic. Did you see his? I don't know if you saw his fight, but he takes this guy from Scotland down. Scotland, Dave, one of your counterparts. Yeah. He hits him with one shot while he's on the ground. You watch that dude's eyes. He's and the referee decides, "I'll let you get hit again." He's just like, but Mokohana just lit him up, so it was a great fight by him. So I wanted to say, Kenny Mokohana, thank you for listening, and just keep on training, dude, and do what I told you, because we talked for a while, and you're going to be somebody.
They don't make Scots like they used to, man. William Wallace is like a dying breed.
William Wallace is a dying breed.
Dying breed. They used to make them tough. Now they make Daves.
They were tough.
Now they make Daves.
Well, the only reason the referee let him hit him again is because he knows Scottish people could take it.
No one understood what you were saying right there. I didn't even understand until you got to the last bit where you said "take it." That was the only part I understood.
That's how you understand. It's like
that's normally all I
take.
understand, especially when you talk. Tick it. Yeah, we had a good time. The show was. I felt a little weird doing the show. I was at the hotel. I did it in the conference room there.
Yeah,
and it just felt a little weird. I like the banter back and forth, but I was rambling on.
We need to banter back and forth because you say things that allow me to come up with some great zingers, man.
I have a question though. Is it because you're old you can't do a show longer than 30 minutes? We had a lot to talk about. Your show was like only 30 minutes long. Mine was like an hour.
Yeah, but see, I get through it. It's real simple. Zip, why am I going to take forever? It's like there's no reason to talk so much.
Man, you got to break it down. You got to let them.
I did break it down nice and easy. Made it simple.
I need you to
this-
start. I need
How
you to
many
start
times have
carrying
I
your
told
weight.
you less is more?
Not always.
Less is more.
Really? Is that what you
Yes.
tell her? Is that what you tell her?
Sometimes.
Oh, sometimes you're like, hey, baby, it's not going to always
Less
be
is
3
more.
minutes. Sometimes it's going to be
That's
2 minutes. So great.
Dude,
All
as
right.
long as I'm happy, we're good.
It's a race to the finish, baby girl. It's a
That's
race
it,
to the
yeah.
finish. All right, well, hey, let's jump right into some fights. But because this happened today, and I kind of feel like there was a big topic of it all today, and how the outcome was. And I got to be honest, I was thinking Jake was going to be able to pull this thing through. We're going to talk Tommy Fury and Jake Paul today. What do you think there?
I'd tell you, it was honestly, it was exactly the way I thought it was going to be. And I've said it.
Really?
Well, Tommy Fury is not a bad boxer. The kid can box. He's got fast hands, and this is the other equation that I was looking at is it was finally somebody who was of the age close. He's a little bit older than Jake, but in the basic size and age category of Jake Paul. And the one thing, Jake wasn't able to establish some things based upon the speed advantage wasn't there. He was just as fast as Jake was. They both landed good jabs, but the jab of Tommy Fury, the fast hands, it caused Jake Paul problems. And, in watching it, I thought there were certain things that I really enjoy. And I'm going to tell you this is the way I'm looking at it. Jake Paul can box. He really can. And the reason I'm saying is you take a look at his stance and you look at the way he's blading himself. And because he's giving just certain portions for you to be able to attack just based upon how he's standing and how he's moving. And I go, that's what a real boxer, that's what a good boxer does. That's what a real, guy who is trying to be technically proficient at this sport. There is a science to it. And that science helps put you in a position so it's tough, not just to hit you, it's the angles that you give and things. I really actually I'm impressed by the way he moves, the way he stands, the way he uses some head movement. But Tommy Fury, a little bit more square in what he does and backs up way too much as far as when he's going, goes straight back. So needs to, angle and step off, but really good head movement a lot of the time, fast hands, keeps his hands a little low and stuff. But it was a close fight. The one thing that I'm going to say out of the whole thing, Josh, is the referee. Dude, you fucked that up. Okay?
It was horrible.
This is not about you, dude. I don't know what the hell. You need to freaking understand. If you haven't done a lot of championship fights sometimes start off ugly. And there's a lot
like
of
he had never done any fights, John.
Oh, my God. It was embarrassing. It was, you are acting like, this is the way I looked at it. You're acting like an amateur referee trying to do a professional fight. And you see, before they get used to it, there's a difference in it. And man, he fucked that up. First off, the point deductions themselves. Stop. No. You don't want to affect the fight if you don't have to. And Jake Paul didn't do anything bad. Tommy Fury hit him in the back of the head freaking a round before where it was actually he was completely turned around. It's like, and then you take the point. It's like, sorry, brother. If there was a bad point in this entire matchup, it was you. Yeah. You really just overstepped what you needed to do to be effective in that fight. And you inserted yourself when you did not have to. So that was a problem. But I thought the two combatants, both Tommy Fury, I thought Tommy Fury fought very well. Fought composed, showed that he can take a shot because he got hit a couple of times clean, and he got put on his butt when he was off balance in the last round with just basically a straight jab, but he was off. It's similar to what happened with Anderson Silva. With Paul's got fast hands, and if you're off balance, you're not stepping right, you get hit, you can end up popping your butt to the ground, but. I really didn't, I looked at it. It was so hard with the way I was watching it in the airport. Mm-hmm. It was, I missed probably a third of the action of the fight based upon my Wi-Fi stopping and stuff. So, I saw the whole fight, but I did miss, some of it. So as far as who won it and stuff, it was close, and that's
Really?
all. Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, I didn't have it close. I mean, I had it 6-2 or 5-3
For Fury.
Yeah, for Fury, obviously.
Yeah.
Which one of the judges gave it to?
I had Fury, winning it. I thought he won, but it was close, and I was okay that it was a split. Didn't matter to me and stuff.
You really didn't? You thought because it was? You thought it should have been a split? I thought that was
No,
whack.
I thought Fury won. I gave it to Fury.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you another question. Outside, nothing to do with Jake Paul. What's your take on Tommy Fury now?
Same take I had before. Tommy Fury's a guy that comes from a fighting family, basically. Look at his dad. That's just what he is. He's that hard dude. John Fury is funny as shit, but he is, who he is, and he taught his sons to fight. Tommy's never going to beat Tyson.
No.
But Tommy, is like you. Tommy's got model looks. He's fucking he's put together like a fucking brick shit house.
Not anymore.
So he can make, he made a lot of money off of this. He can make good money based upon the way he looks. He's never going to be his brother Tyson as far as boxing. He doesn't have the same skill set. It's not that, and again, I thought he fought very well, but he's fighting the level of competition that he should be fighting.
Exactly. I agree. I look at, let me break down the fight first, and then I'll go into the separate stuff with them. But in terms of the fight, I thought it was a great match fight. I thought Tommy showed that he was just as fast, if not faster, especially in those first 2 rounds.
Oh yeah,
he had a fast jab. He was snapping with the right hand. He was kind of rolling his shoulders a little bit,
getting Jake to bite on those feints.
Yep, exactly. So like rolling the shoulders is more of like a feint. So he would turn and then he'd come back and not throw anything off of it, and then he'd turn and then he'd throw something off of it. He did a great job. Where he impressed me. You said he moves back, which I agree. He does. He does when his back or his leg hits the rope, he'll turn and create a little bit of an angle. Mm-hmm. And he landed some good, hard, clean shots in that in those exchanges. He was waiting and baiting to see if Jake would come lunging in, which is what Jake kind of does. And I think tonight was a good for all the fighters that may potentially start looking to fight Jake Paul or Jake Paul thinking about fighting someone else. This was a good sample size for them to get an idea of how to beat him, because I think there was a lot that was laid out. Jake Paul dips his head straight down. Sure, he's bladed, but when someone starts punching him, he kind of, I don't want to say cowers, but he kind of bends down at the waist and covers his head.
Down, brings his hands in and brings his head
and that
down.
uppercut was there all day. And Tommy hit him with 2 good, nasty uppercuts. I'm surprised he didn't go to it more, because it was there all day and all night long. Yeah. All day and night, whatever it was. It was day for us, night for them probably. But I thought was very impressed with Tommy. I thought I had him winning the first 2 rounds, had him losing the 3rd, then the 5th he got it back, and then the 6th I felt like he won that round too. Then the 7th, and 7th and 8th went on. You know what I mean? Like he got dropped, sat to his butt. More of an off balance though.
Yeah,
caught him in the exchange in terms of he was stepping in, and it kind of just caught him on his heels and sat him to his butt. He wasn't hurt.
No.
But what I loved is that Jake Paul showed he's a dog. He'll take a shot to give a shot.
Yep.
Tommy's got to be careful. Keeps his hands down low, like you had talked about. But I did like they tried one way in the first 2 rounds, which they were having success. I'm surprised they got away from it. The first 2 rounds was be defensive, circle, stay away, counter. And they did a great job. They won the first 2 rounds. Then in the 3rd round, they tried to change the game plan and started trying to get after him. Just take the center of the ring, and dictate the pace of the fight. And that kind of, I felt like Jake won that round because of that. He was able to, when Tommy had to be the aggressor, he was showing too much. He was loading up too much. And when he did that, it didn't come out fluidly, and Jake was able to slip, make him miss, and then counter or throw and beat him to the punch as he was stepping in.
I agree.
And he didn't fight as well. Then he went back, I think, in the 4th round to the little bit more of the defensive, and he had a good round. I had it being like 3 or 4-1 going into the 6th, and then the 6th was a good round, 7th, 7th and then the 8th and whatever, so forth. But it was, I thought Tommy had probably one of his best performances. Now, I don't know if that's because a lot more motivation from, Tyson and his dad, John or whatever, putting the pressure on him, like don't bother coming home. And I think that he didn't take the fight the first time, and then now came back. I think he had that time to really focus on, hey, what do I got to do? I think the first camp was probably, I feel like I'm good. I'm getting there, but I'm not where I need to be for me to make sure that I have a dominant performance. And so they pulled, and then he just kept working. I felt like he ran a long time to make sure that he got to all the little bit of work that he needed. And I think his brother helped him a lot in terms of not just helping him in there and working with him and sparring with him and being there with him. I think he brought in some of the best nutritionists, probably some of the best team he could get around him, whatever it was. They made sure that he had the best, because he was in shape.
Oh,
that
no
guy,
doubt.
like, I was expecting him to slow down with all that muscle.
He did not slow down at all.
He didn't slow down at all.
Because he slowed down when he fought Anthony Taylor, if you recall.
Yeah.
And he got tired. You could see it.
Yeah.
And,
but people look at Anthony Taylor and are like, dude, you were fighting at 135 like 5 years ago.
Exactly. That's the whole
now
point.
you're 200 pounds. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. But anyways, like that's not a good comparison, because look, a lot of people fight to the level of their competition.
Sure.
I feel that Jake Paul.
Fatigue in that situation, when you are the one that you're dominating the action of the fight, you're dominating the position and when the engagements take place, and you're getting tired, saying you're not in shape.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. But in this scenario, he was the one that was really in shape, and both of them were in phenomenal shape.
No, both of them are in great shape.
There could have been a little bit more output from both of them, but I think both of them have to respect each other's power.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Jake Paul has power for sure, no doubt. And then Tommy, he showed in that first 2 rounds, he's definitely got power. I mean, there was a couple times he hit Jake, and you can see Jake, he had to just, hunker down and get ready to start being a defensive fighter. With Jake, like I said, this has been a lot in terms of he laid out. There's enough video on him now against someone that can actually box that it laid out kind of how to beat him. If you're offensive on him, you hit him, and you hit him with some good shots, he'll hunker down, uppercuts, hooks to the body. Those things are very...
Josh, the speed. And this is where we were trying to talk about all the times that you're fighting guys that are old. And the first thing that goes is speed. And he's 24 now, maybe 25 now, I don't know. But he's fast. He's got fast hands. And when you're fighting people that are slower, well, now when you're fighting someone that has as much speed, if not more, see, a little bit of a difference. And that's a big equation. The other part I want you to think about is this, though. How mad are you? Or, Jake in that press conference offered Tommy, says, we'll do this. If you win, I'll pay you double what your purse is. If I win, you get nothing. And he didn't want to do it. And then his dad said, you got it. We're doing it. Right. And then he said, okay, we got a contract we signed. And then they didn't sign that contract.
Oh, man.
And you look and you go, how upset is he now? Do you know how much he made for that fight?
$4 million, I heard.
$4 million.
I mean, he'll get a rematch. And he should
get a rematch, but he could have had $8 million.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I know that they're two separate men, but I would imagine his brother kind of helps him a lot with whatever.
I don't think his brother has to.
Oh, that's true as well. I don't think he has to. I mean, he's a model. He's pretty much he's one of the fucking best looking motherfuckers out there right now.
And he's got the damn, he does all that reality TV crap and stuff. I'm sure he's doing just fine.
And he can box. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, 4 million, 8 million, I get it, and he can box.
I was listening to Rogan's podcast with Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports.
I saw the video that Dave did tonight.
And he put, what did he do?
He basically said I was fucking wrong. I knew I was wrong the first 30 seconds.
Oh, okay, because he went on Rogan's podcast and he said, he goes, that fight it's not even there. I have never been so sure about anything. Jake Paul, he goes, Tommy Fury can't box. And I was like, are you high? and Rogan kind of came back at him. He goes, no, you're wrong, man. He can box. And he's this and he's that, and he starts explaining, and Portnoy's going, no. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're looking at, but the dude can box.
Dave, pull up that video. It's on Barstool Prez.
It's
on Instagram.
So Portnoy came out and actually said I was wrong. Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
As soon as it was done, was done, he came out and was like,
but this is Josh, this is our life. We have all these people because they know so much. and they sit there and they make these, you do this or that, or it's like, no, I hate to tell you, I've done this for too long. I kind of do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And when you say he doesn't know,
here you go.
I can't hear it. Come on, Dave, I want to hear it. Okay.
I'm making this video. There's 2 minutes left, 7th round. Jake Paul, Tommy Fury.
Oh, he's doing it in the middle of it.
I essentially said I was never more confident of anything in my entire life
That's what he said.
than Jake Paul destroying Tommy Fury, knocking him out. I didn't think Tommy Fury was a real fighter. I thought Jake Paul was going to kill him. On and on. On Rogan, I said, Rogan, you're a moron if you think that Tommy Fury's a real boxer. Somebody looked at me walking down the street, I'd be like, Tommy Fury's a joke. I knew 30 seconds in, I was wrong. Here I am, hand up. You actually have to be a man of integrity, honor, and I am that man today. I am dead wrong.
Okay.
And I don't know that I was wrong about Jake Paul. I was clearly wrong about Tommy Fury. Way better than I thought. How good? I don't know. I don't know anything now. I can't ever talk about boxing ever again with a degree of integrity. My reputation is in shambles.
My reputation is in shambles.
Dude, no, trust me, you didn't have a reputation like you did.
That's
when
good,
you were
Dave.
talking about.
I am wrong.
That's funny, though. But
That's
good for
great.
him. Good for him.
Yeah, that's great right there, man. That's great. I mean, like, hey, you got to admit when you're wrong. You know, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like I said with the Volkanovski thing, man, I was wrong. I thought Islam was going to finish him by round 3. I thought for sure. It is what it is. You know, here's the thing. When you're talking about the top level fighters in the world, you can never underestimate them. Never.
Nope.
No, I put my foot. Like, I underestimated Kamaru Usman. I don't know how many times. Shit. I mean, I put my foot in my mouth about him.
Come on. I used to go, why is it you don't like him? And you're like,
I love him.
I know you do.
I love Kamaru. He's such a fucking nice guy. He's such a
he's a great
likable
guy.
guy. And
Yeah.
And
He's a hell of a fighter.
I don't think anything negative about him. I actually think he's a role model for a lot of young people. I think I'm super impressed by him. I really like when we were talking the Colby situation, right? I had seen Kamaru seem like he got a little tired sometimes in some of his fights. He slowed down, and I thought Colby was going to be able to walk through him in that first fight. Not walk through him, but I thought he was going to out wrestle him. He's going to pace him. He's going to make him work. Well, I thought this is what I thought in that fight. I thought he would wrestle him so much that they would get in his Colby's cardio would start to come through in rounds 4 and 5, and he'd be able to dominate maybe some wrestling takedowns and positions. That didn't happen. And that shit didn't happen in number 2 either. It just, and then I thought the same thing when George fought him, Masvidal. I was like, on the feet, George got good takedown defense. I thought for sure Kamaru would take him down. Yeah. But then I thought George would be able to circle, stay away. He's got good takedown defense enough to stuff it and then throw some good combinations. Maybe rock him, get him out of there. That was not the case. That was not. And then the second fight, he knocked him out. I mean, this is the game. When you're talking about the best fighters in the world, and I'm not saying that Jake and Tommy are the best fighters in the world. I'm not saying that.
No.
But you know what? These guys, both of them have potential, and you've got to really give them credit. Give credit where credit's due. Tommy fought a really good fight tonight. I thought he had a great jab. He did a great job. You were saying like backing up. I had him stepping off several times as soon as he hit the fence or the ropes, and he would throw the shots. I mean, I thought he fought a great fight for someone who I was a little bit like Dave Portnoy. I was like, he's not a good boxer. He's not great. He's not bad. He's just not great. And I thought Jake would be able to use his age to put the pace on him. I mean, Tommy's not an old guy, but I'm saying he's not old, but I'm saying I thought he would have been able to like that energetic Jake Paul that we've seen all around. I thought we'd see the bounce in his step, the snap, the jab, boom. But then again, you look at the guys that he's fought, John, they're all older.
Yeah.
All of them, all in their 39, 40 years old. I mean, it makes a huge difference. Yeah. And I thought that too, but then I also looked at Tommy. I'm like, he's a kind of a bigger guy. He's not a super fast guy. But then in that first 30 seconds, when I started seeing him use the jab, started seeing the hand speed, and he had more power than Jake, I was like, oh, okay. Because every time Jake got hit, he was like, oh, shit, this guy can crack.
Yeah.
And so it really opened my eyes. And like I said, the sample size now on Jake Paul is there for anybody else fighting him next. So he's going to have to make some changes.
A little bit of a blueprint. A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. Yep. That uppercut, being more of a counter striker if you're the faster one. I mean, it just goes into, like you were saying earlier, about him having to fight people that are not old. The speed. Sure, you're a fast fighter, but you look fast because you're fighting older guys. And tonight, when we realized you guys were equally as fast, if not, Tommy was a little bit faster than you.
That's right.
You know, and I feel like Tommy was faster the first 2-3 rounds, and then he kind of didn't slow down, but he just didn't have that same snap as he had. He had moments of that snap that were faster than Jake, but because he carries so much muscle, he's built like a Greek god and crystal blue green eyes, and just super jealous right now. This guy. So, but yeah. Anyways, overall though, I got to be honest, I actually enjoyed the fight.
Yeah, no. I was impressed with both guys. Impressed with their skill levels and everything, and they both look really good. Look, it looked like it's a professional boxing match, and it was. It did not look like a YouTuber or anything like. No, you can see when YouTubers fight. Jake Paul's a real boxer. He's got great skills. Tommy Fury's got great skills. It was a good fight.
I'm just glad they both made money, man. They both made some good money. Good on them. Good on them.
Also, give it up for Badu Jack, who I've been watching forever. Badu comes back and wins his third world title, and he put on a hell of a performance. I know you didn't see it, so we're not going to talk about it, but Badu Jack looked fantastic. Now let's talk about Bellator 291 from Dublin, Ireland, because there was a dude there in Yaroslav Amosov, as Josh will tell you, who was 26-0, 14-1 for Logan Storley, 30 fights between both of them. But you look at the story, and so much of this, you say, you want a true story? Here's your story, man, because here's a guy who walked away from a world title, walked away from the safety of being able to be a professional athlete and not have to go to, we've had a lot of athletes in the United States, and going back in times, boxers, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, they all were, drafted into the military during wartime, but they didn't go to frontline stuff. They were there for more to make the troops feel good and to do demonstrations and things like that. But Yaroslav Amosov, he was, he made a statement in the, if you look at the interview they did where he's talking and he says, I saw stuff, and sometimes I can't sleep. And all I can tell you is, people, if you haven't, people in the military, they know what he's talking about. And when you see stuff, you can't unsee those things, Josh. They're with you forever. Now, everyone handles them different, and you compartmentalize things in your life. But, this is a guy, coming off of a nasty, 6 months of his life where he was frontline military, seeing terrible things done, and comes back because the troops want him to. They're the ones that said, hey, we want you to be fighting. They did the same thing with Alexander Usyk. They wanted him fighting. So this is a guy that, 2 years off, dude, he came back. Josh, he was so fucking good.
Yeah.
He made a really good fighter in Logan Storley, and we know how good he can wrestle. He made Logan just look average. He made, we talk, how many times do we talk about, combinations and throwing your hands, and don't just do the ones, the 1-2s. You got to go and throw the 3s and 4s. Those are the ones that are going to land. This dude is fighting a guy that is known for his wrestling, a guy that, if you go to frickin' Kill Cliff and talk about who's the best wrestler there, and Kamaru Usman's still training there all the time, and Logan Storley, it's not close. They'll tell you. He was throwing 9-10 punch combinations against a guy that wrestles that good, and that guy couldn't get a damn takedown to save his life.
Didn't even sniff one. I was surprised.
No. Unbelievable how good he looked. There wasn't a moment in that fight where he was not in control and doing what he wanted to do, or forcing Logan to have to defend what he was doing.
Yep. Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed by his performance from beginning to end. from the very beginning bell to the very last bell, he dominated the fight all the way around.
Mhm.
Now, I know the game plan for Logan was to stand a little bit and then threaten some takedowns in the first, and then that went astray after a couple calf kicks.
Boy, I talked to him, and he talked, and I said it on the broadcast. You can't just eat it like that. You've got to start to check that. You cannot do that. And he told me, he said, John, he goes, I got hit that second time. He goes, and I realized, oh fuck, my leg, I have no balance on it. And that was first round, Josh.
Yeah.
And he said, he goes right then I knew, oh, I'm in trouble.
And I talked to Johnny Eblen before the fight, and he's like, "Look, everything is on point right now, this and that." And he's like, "People don't understand how he doesn't look like he's hitting hard, but he hits hard."
Yeah.
They're like, and his kicks, he'll throw them, and it looks like he's throwing them easy, but when they land, they're hard. I mean, Johnny Eblen couldn't stop talking. He's like, "Look, out of all the guys that I spar with and train at American Top Team, he trains with all the guys. Everyone
that gives him
the one that gives him the hardest time is him."
Yeah.
He's like, it's just not. He's like, and he's a 70 pounder and I'm an 85 pounder. He's like, but the guy can do it all. He can wrestle. He can hip toss you off your movement. He foot sweeps you. He can do everything. Stuff my takedowns. He's sure I can get him. He's like, but he's still there in the third, fourth round if I need him for 5 rounds. The guy can go. Because I had some concerns when I ran into Johnny at his last fight about Yaroslav. I said, the first fight he got real tired. He's like, bro, let me just tell you. He's like, that guy is a training machine. He's like, but he came back so fat, like so out of shape in between that fight and between the last fight and the fight that he fought Logan. He's like, and he just had a horrible weight cut. His whole camp was about getting his weight down. He just wasn't the same. The speed wasn't there. The output wasn't there. He's like, he was lucky that it was only a 3-round fight. He got lucky. And the fact that he won the split decision, he got lucky too. I mean, they were talking about it. He's like, don't expect to see that guy. That guy's not coming. He's like, this guy's focused. He's really focused on what he's doing. And the thing that concerns me now, look, with such a dominant performance in his post-fight interview, he, not with you, but in the back, they were talking, and he did a video that he's going to go back to Ukraine.
Oh, yeah. But I've talked to him.
Okay.
He's going back to the Ukraine to be someone that is there for the morale of the troops. He's going to go see the troops. He's going to go, bring them the belt, do all those things. It doesn't mean that he's going to go back on the front lines.
Got it. Yeah, because there's a lot that people should take away from this, man. And that the things that they should take away from is that it's almost like a Pat Tillman story, but without him passing.
Yeah.
It's like he really gave up a lot of money. He's got a great contract. He's the champ. He's given up, maybe he's not giving up Pat Tillman money, but he's giving up good money, and he's got a good life. He's got a great life out here, and lives here and then lives there. He lives both places, but his family's still over there. I mean, and if you watch, I follow him on Instagram, man. He loves to mountain bike. He loves to,
he does it all.
He does it all, man. He loves to do everything. He's active. And the first thing after, you can just tell how proud of a father he is about his son. I can't wait to kiss my son, to kiss my wife. I mean, like, it's.
I saw him this morning, and we're talking, and he's got his phone, right? And all of a sudden I say, "Are you talking to your wife, right?" And his wife's on FaceTime. He goes, "Oh yes, no problem. Don't. It's okay though." No, go, man.
He's super nice. His English has gotten a lot better.
Way better.
It's gotten a lot better. So
way better.
But look, on the flip side, I look at Logan Storley. He was making progressions as he got to this title fight. He fought for the interim title. He fought MVP. The wrestling pedigree that he has, 6-time state champ out of South Dakota, a 4-time All-American out of the University of Minnesota. The guy's got it all in terms of the wrestling accolades. He's a fantastic wrestler. His striking's coming along as well. He was able to outstrike Naaman Gracie. He had some good stuff on the feet, stuff the takedowns, got a takedown or two and then just backed out. He is a very, very good fighter. Yeah. I'm not going to even get into like the comparisons with him and Usman and all the other guys and that train out of Kill Cliff. They're all teammates. They all got a lot of respect for each other. They all help each other. But he is a phenomenal, phenomenal athlete, and he will be back. Like I said, his only losses are to the champ. I look at him without saying like he won't be back. He will be back. But I look at him like a Robert Whittaker, the guy that's going to probably always be there at number 2 for right now. But in that being said, the guy that scares me the most for Yaroslav Amosov is the guy he's probably going to end up fighting next, which is Jason Jackson. The reason why he scares me, John, is the reach, the range, and then Yaroslav's going to have to get in there. The speed of the jab, the speed of the push kick, the leg kicks, all of those things that Jason Jackson presents, on top of this height and the size. Yaroslav Amosov is not, he's not a big guy for 170, but he's not small. He's tall, he's a little bit rangy and stuff, but then Jason Jackson is like that next step up. Taller, a little bit longer, a little bit lengthier kind of thing, like gangly, and he can wrestle.
Yeah, he
He comes from a wrestling background. He's got a wrestling background. He's not Logan Sterling wrestling, but he is a guy that will push you into the wrestling categories when you least expect it. Logan will strike and then wrestle off of it. Jason Jackson will get into a big mix with you and then all of a sudden grab your leg and try to take you down, or he'll bull rush you to the fence and then just grab your around your back, your low back, or your under your ass, and then lift you, scoop you, and pull you out and put you down. Yeah. He's gonna be a handful, I think, for Amosov. And I've said this before. Look, as much as I talked about on Twitter today, because I've been talking shit. I was getting after it today on Twitter. Yes. If you don't follow me, man, go to @TheRealPunk. I got some business for y'all. I said, he's the best welterweight in the world. Everyone's like, oh, he can't beat Usman. Usman's not even the best guy.
Hold it. I said that last night. I don't know if you heard, but I said it. And it's because, Dave, I want you to do me a favor. I gave you a tweet. It's by American Top Team. Now, this is American Top Team, okay? One of the best gyms there is. Mm-hmm. And I want you to read what it says, because it says best in the world in any organization. And it's got two guys there with Mike Brown, one of the coaches. Yaroslav and Johnny are standing there. This is, it's so frustrating. And I understand people. I understand when, hey, you are someone that likes the sport and you watch, and the UFC is the number one, and you think that they must have the people that can beat everybody. And their people are fantastic. I'm not telling you they're not. But there are people out there that can beat them too. Now, you can put them in a fight, and I've said it too many times. If you give me the top 170s in the UFC, I can take the top 70s in Bellator, and if I get to match them up, I can guarantee you I'm going to come away with mostly wins. Now, I can do it the opposite way too and come away with the UFC mostly wins. This right here, fighters, Josh, you knew this when you were at AKA.
Yeah,
look,
we knew.
Fighters know, and it doesn't matter what organization somebody is with. And I was talking with Eric Nixick about it last night too, at Extreme Couture, and it's like, hey, in the gym, we know. There's no difference. Sometimes it's just, which day one guy feels better or anything like that, but that's telling you right there. As a team, you're not trying to put anything out against any organization. What you're doing is saying, look, we got guys from both. We got a ton of guys that fight in the UFC, and we got guys that fight in Bellator, and we're telling you right now, at these weight classes, we're going to say we think these are the two best guys in the world. And hey, if whether you can accept it or not, people, I had to do it on Twitter. I was gonna respond to him, then I thought, Podcast Dave would tell me, John, why? And I was like, okay, I won't.
Yeah, Dave's on there talking shit to everybody.
So I look at it, and the guy, the best part is the guy had a picture of himself, and he's got duck face. He's doing the whole lip thing, right? And I go, I cannot respond to duck face. No. So, but he's sitting there saying, he couldn't beat anybody, in the top 20 in the UFC, and it's like, dude. Yeah, it's okay that you think that. I can't help the fact that you're ignorant.
Yeah,
all right, can't help it. It's just who you are, and it's okay. And it doesn't bother me that you're ignorant, that you know nothing, but you know nothing, because when it comes to fighters know. Josh, we talk to people all the time. I talk to every damn coach there is out there. I talk to all the. I know. I don't say a lot of times what I know, but. You ask people, they know who the best guys are. Doesn't matter what organization they're with.
Look, I'm not just talking to fighters. I'm talking to coaches, and on top of talking to coaches, I'm talking to managers. Yeah. And I know which managers.
I don't listen to managers because they lie.
They do lie, but you also know when they're not lying. when they say, "Yeah, we're gonna wait for that fight."
Yeah,
they know.
Smart.
They understand. Like, you know
Because
what?
they know.
We want that fight to be for the title. Like, we want that fight to be down the line for the title.
Or they'll say, "Yeah, we're going to take that fight because right now,
Yep,
we think we have an advantage, and we know that guy is coming on.
Yeah,
and we don't want to take him on 2 fights down the road."
Yeah, my thought process on it to the people on Twitter, the people that talk about, you know, the UFC always UFC, is I don't normally disagree with a lot of what they say. I tell them though this is that the UFC doesn't have the best fighters. The best fighters are everywhere across the world.
Yes,
they just have more of them.
Yep, they do.
That's the best. That's the best way I can explain it for the casual person at home.
The depth of the UFC is better than any organization there is.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. They got double the roster that Bellator has. They have 600 something fighters on their roster.
Yeah.
You know, and Bellator's got about 290, 280 somewhere in there, almost 300.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, you're in that mix. And it goes up and down. Sometimes they'll sign 10 people and then sometimes they'll cut 4. Sometimes they'll, you know, cut 12 and they'll sign 4. It's like it depends on what it is. But right now, like I said, that's the best way I can explain it, but there's no doubt in my mind. Because when I get on these Twitter things, right, and I start seeing her, I talk to people, just in general, they're like, hey, yeah, but then Johnny Eblin, you know, he could probably beat Pereira, but then he couldn't beat Izzy. Izzy's got good takedown defense. I'm like, they're basically the same fighter, and I get it, Izzy does have better takedown defense.
He does.
But if you have to wrestle as much as you did, and Jan is not a wrestler. I know Jan's big also, but Jan's not a wrestler.
No.
Let's not say he is.
He is not.
And Johnny's proven that in round 5, he can go another 5 rounds.
Well, here's the difference with Johnny. And this will, you know, the guy that's in the middle will tell you this right now. Johnny Eblin is like Colby Covington. He has got a huge gas tank and he just keeps coming. That is a rare athlete in MMA, that you have speed, that you can wrestle that way, and you can do it over and over and over again, and you don't stop. You don't get tired. And Johnny Eblin's that guy.
That's true. And then, I mean, honestly, I was concerned about Yaroslav Amosov, and I said this earlier, because of his first fight with Logan. And I had never really seen him get super tired before, but that fight he did. And it all made sense. But you never know. You listen to friends that they train with, and, you know, you hear about their great accolades and their great training, you know, and they talk about, and then when they said, oh, yeah, he came in fat. And that makes a ton of sense. I've been around, I don't know how many fighters. How many fighters? Some of them being Dagestani, coming in just heavier than they should have came in, you know, enjoying their last win too much. And it showed. It showed in the weight cut. It showed in a little bit of their performance. Yeah. But right now, I've laid it all out on the line. They're like, oh, well, Amosov can't beat Kamaru Usman. Well, Kamaru Usman, if you want to match him up, champion versus champion, number 1, number 2, I would say that. Edwards. Yeah, you know, it's like you got to give him Leon Edwards. I think Kamaru Usman's a harder fight for him. Absolutely.
Let me ask you a question.
Matchups.
Okay, let me ask you this. What does Kamaru Usman live off of?
His jab and his wrestling.
Okay. Is he going to out-wrestle Yaroslav?
I don't think so.
Absolutely not, because I can tell you right now, Josh, you know it's true, and I'm talking. Kamaru can't out-wrestle Logan Storley. Now, I'm not saying Kamaru's not a good wrestler. He is.
Fantastic wrestler, yeah.
But Logan Storley is a fantastic wrestler. Mm-hmm. And they train all the time together. Why do you think that Logan says, look, I know now I'm one of the best because I train with those guys, and I know how I do. Okay? And so you look and you go, I'm not too sure that you know, and age-wise and everything, look, Kamaru's not better on the feet than Yaroslav. Yaroslav has a much more diverse attack than Kamaru. Now, Kamaru may have more single punch power. Yeah, you know, anybody that knocks Masvidal out the way he did, he may have that single punch power. I'm not going to take that away. But, you know, look, he lives off of wrestling. And he's not going to out-wrestle Amosov.
Well, I want to get, like, if I get deep into that tweet, though, with Mike Brown. So you go Amosov. I look at it. Can you pull up the 170-pound rankings?
Yeah, Bellator's right.
No, UFC's. Sorry. You've got Kamaru, you got Colby, and you got Hamzat. You got Bilal. So, like, all of those guys, they're all good wrestlers.
Yeah.
But Logan Storley, out of the three of them, out of all four of those, is the better wrestler.
Well, see, now there was tape out there of Amosov training with Gamrot in Thailand.
Yep.
But if you know the background of that tape and what they were showing, it's where, and I just know people that were there that were training with them, and they gave me the full story. And they told me, well, I'm going to tell you right now, Amosov was eating Gamrot up, but then Amosov continued on, and Gamrot went and got a break and stuff, and then came back, and then Gamrot kind of it evened out, and Gamrot was doing well. But
yeah,
you know, it's.
But in all fairness, though, I also heard the same exact thing that you heard, that he kept going, and they were going for like about 6 to 7 rounds of wrestling, and Gamrot had went off, taking a rest or two, and then came in. But I also heard on the feet that Gamrot had a little bit more of the.
I heard that Gamrot did really well on the feet.
Yep.
Exactly.
But then you also look at the size of Gamrot and the size of them in off season. They weren't neither one of those guys were in camp. They were there just training. Yeah. So I don't look at them as being the same. And Gamrot is, I think, he's not going back down to 70. So he's not making that weight. From what I heard, from what I've heard from people that were trying to book fights against him, management wise, they said that he's going to 85.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that actually happens. But
I think he should.
They were told that he's going. He should. Yeah. I think if
as
the
he
two
gets a
top
little
guys
bit older,
there,
it's going to get worse and worse. And I think 185 is perfect for him.
Yep. I think that because if you look at the guys he's going to have to beat at 85, right? He's going to have to get through Robert Whittaker or Jared Cannonier. Outside of that, I mean, I think him and Paulo Costa would be a fun fight. Paulo Costa and Gamrot would be a fun fight. It'd be a very exciting fight. But they're going to have to challenge him at some point. You know, they challenged him with Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert rocked him in the 3rd round, sat him to a knee.
Oh, yeah.
So let's remember that. Like, everyone keeps telling me, like, oh, well, Gamrot can beat Amosov at 70, but he hasn't made weight. He's made weight one time, and he started getting tired in the 3rd round. Well, you're going to fight Amosov. It's going to be a 5-round fight. So you can't get tired. And we just saw that Amosov can go. He's got cardio. Now I get into the Johnny Eblen conversation. Both the top 2 guys there, Israel and Alex, they're not wrestlers. No. And Johnny will, I believe, take them down and be able to. I think Robert Whittaker is his toughest fight in that division.
No, I would agree.
I think he is just somebody. People kept telling me, like, oh, well, Marvin Vettori. And then I'm like, Marvin Vettori doesn't have the wrestling. He doesn't have the striking either. He's good, but he's not great. He doesn't threaten him in any way. Johnny Eblen's got the cardio, the endurance. He mixes it up very well. I mean, keeping Gegard guessing the way he did. And then his last performance with Tokov, who's a fucking savage and a beast. I mean, he's 32-2 now. He was 32-1 at the time. Or was he 32-2?
31-2.
31-2, sorry.
Nice.
See, numbers again. See, you start thinking about numbers. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not like he everyone's like, oh, well, who'd he beat? Oh, he just beat someone who was 31-2. That's who he beat. Fucking stud. The guy's an animal. Super strong. Good sambo. Good wrestling. Good striking. Heavy hands. Yeah. Good power. Extremely well-rounded. Yep. Look, I'm not here to discredit the guys that are in the other organizations, but I'm going to speak on the fact that look, there's guys. That's why I don't say things like this about other weight classes, because I feel like maybe the other promotions have a better fighter. I don't know yet. Maybe the sample size isn't big enough for me to compare. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just stylistically it's not a good matchup. But if I'm going to go through this, I'm going to say that right now, American Top Team was very, very right. Right now, Johnny Eblen's the best 185-pounder in the world. And I believe the same thing with Yaroslav Amosov. He's the best 170-pounder in the world. That's it. I'm not discrediting the other guys, not discrediting the other promotion. I think all these fighters are fucking fantastic. All of them are. But like I said earlier, the UFC does not have the best fighters. They just have more of them. And that's really what people have to start to understand. They have the depth on their roster. Absolutely. There's just no way around it. I mean, like, you get into, like, if I start looking at that fucking lightweight division, Charles Oliveira, Dustin, Justin, Benil, Chandler, Fazeev, I mean, like, Gamrot, like, Sarukian, fuck. I mean, like, Dos Anjos. I mean, I'm going through this line right now. I'm like, that's fucking top. That's top 10. That's top 8. Best 8, 9 guys. Fucking animals, killers, all of them. Yep. Dos Anjos is number 9 right now as fucking former champion. Just you got killers there, man. Like, But like I said, they've got a lot more than other promotions because they are the biggest promotion in the world right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next fight. We ranted on a lot. Sorry about that.
All right, Jeremy Kennedy took on Pedro Carvalho. Jeremy Kennedy basically he dominated the fight, dominated with his wrestling, and I did know that before the fight he was not feeling well and he was having problems.
Jeremy or Pedro?
Jeremy had a lot of problems. He was, in fact, he was, you know, one of those. They're gonna walk you out, and he goes, whoop, runs back. Yeah, it was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah, he was not feeling well for the fight, but did not let it affect him. Went out, fought a very smart fight, used his grappling, realized once he got to the ground, you're not going to be able to do anything with me here. I'm not going to get caught by you. And so went right back to doing the same thing overall. He was really looking at the big thing he was talking about the entire time there was, you know, he wanted that breakout performance where people see him finish somebody. And he even said afterwards, he goes, I just didn't have it in me. He goes, I was so worried that I was going to shit myself. So, yeah, that's what happens.
Look, I like Jeremy Kennedy a lot. I've had a chance and opportunity to talk to him. But you said earlier, these fighters are getting so big. He is huge for 145 pounds.
Unbelievable.
Just so big. But in the process of
5'11".
Yeah.
You know, and
it's crazy.
I mean, no fat at all on him, but strong as hell.
Yep.
It's amazing how big he is.
Yeah. But I look at him though too, John, and I mean Jeremy, if you're listening to me, man, I just found out you weren't feeling well, but I got to be honest, man. People are talking about you being the next John Fitch. Got to be careful. You're going to need to start getting some finishes. But then when people forget that John Fitch had, I want to say he had 9 finishes out of his 11 fights before he fought GSP.
Yep.
He didn't get the credit he deserved. Just because he dominated the top positions. He had 9, I think it was 9 finishes out of the 11 fights.
He had a lot. Yeah, when he was coming up into the point of getting that championship fight, he was finishing people. He like Ron Canero and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he had quite a few.
Yep. There was some big time fight. He had some big time fights. He had some big time wins. But Jeremy, you're going to have to start. He's going to have to start getting some finishes. They're not going to offer him a title shot off of this. Yep. The other thing, too, is I don't know what's going on with Patricio, but I mean, I'm hearing that he's looking to fight Sergio Pettis next. So I think that's going to happen. I think it's going to happen here. We'll see. That's the take on it. But I think Jeremy did what he had to do. Look, if you're not feeling well, you go out there. You have to be able to get the wins when you are not feeling your best. When you're just not feeling it, that's when you got to go out there and get the win.
True.
Bryce Logan versus Peter Queally.
Big elbow. Peter Queally was handling that fight easily. Yep. Handling it at range, controlling the distance, doing everything the right way. And as soon as that distance got crushed and he got his back up against the cage, he did not see the elbow coming. It hit him perfect and gets hurt. Nice win by Bryce Logan.
Very nice win. Sinead Kavanaugh versus Janae Harding.
Sinead Kavanaugh really needs to goddamn open up her game. She is too boxing centric. It's going to hold her back. Yeah, she got the win. I'm not saying she didn't, but it was close. Janae Harding actually fought a pretty decent fight. You know, the second round was the one that was tough, but I thought in the third round came out threw a ton of kicks. You know, used her length and used more tools than Sinead, but Sinead ended up getting the win.
Yeah, I think her being back at City Boxing, I think it's going to be a big
thing.
Yeah, it's going to make a big difference, but she's going to have to get a win here soon. She's, I think, dropped 4 in a row now.
Yeah.
So she's going to have to get a win. But Sinead, look, outside of the kicks and all the other tools that she offers, she's got to let it go more, though. Not just that she's got to use more tools. If you're just going to use boxing, well, then fucking throw it more.
Yeah.
Because there was moments there where she could have got Janae out of there. I don't know if she would have got her out of there, but she could have dropped her, sat her down. I know she did towards the end, but she could have done a lot more damage in some of those positions that she could have gotten to. Overall, good performance still by her, but like you said, use more tools in the box. Kieran Clark versus Sinnis.
Did what he was supposed to do, but should have finished him.
Yep, absolutely.
Should have finished him.
I'm gonna say something at the end of this. I'm gonna say the same thing about the UFC card, but we're gonna get into that later. But I just wanted to, when you're in these positions, young men and women, like you need to capitalize on this. Yep. They have high because we work for them. We have a high expectation. Bellator has a high expectation for Kieran Clark. You got to get finishes, buddy.
Yep.
You got to get them. And I know you've had some great comebacks and some great fights where you've gotten snuck them out at the end. And I know like not every fight's going to be dominant, but this was one of those dominating performances where you should have got the finish.
Yep.
So next fight.
Carl Moore against Rosansky. Very close fight. Could have gone either way. It was a unanimous decision, but it was close. Mike Shipman against Charlie Ward. Same thing. Mike Shipman taking him down all those times, being in those positions, but played it a little safe. Didn't open up. Didn't try to go for, submitting Charlie. Charlie is tough as far as, being there, but could have been done. Possibly should have gone for it. Popov against Sarcham. Sarcham got out wrestled. But Popov, you got to do more. I'm sorry, you're out wrestling people, but you came close to losing that fight, even based upon just one round in that third round. And so, the wrestling's good, but when you're getting tired and someone can light you up, got to be careful.
John, the two guys that I think I've always had high expectations for is Magomed Sharapov and obviously Norvenu Jr. Those are the two guys that went out there and did the jobs they were supposed to do that I was expecting. Those guys are the ones that Bellator is going to be staking a lot of claim on. Those are the guys they really want to try to make a good push for. They come out, they perform every single time. I mean, Norvenu Jr. has been out for 2 years?
Yeah.
He's been out for a while.
Yep,
tore his knee really bad, almost 3 years. Came out, had a good performance. Wasn't great. Looked a little sloppy at times, but very good performance.
Yeah.
Hassan Magomed Sharapov, Zabit's brother. Great performance. Fantastic.
Did exactly what he's supposed to do. Went out,
exactly,
dominated his opponent, got the finish. The one that I want to give credit to, though, Asel Ajouj against Liam McCracken. Look, I told people that's going to be the fight of the prelims. Ajouj is good. But I'll tell you what, I had watched McCracken. I had never seen him fight live. I watched him on tape and said, hey, this kid can fight. 21 years old, Josh. This kid is good. And that was a close fight. He beat Ajouj in that first round, and then he ended up losing the next two, but it was close. But, man, I'll tell you what, those guys are going to meet again, but that's the kind of fight when we're talking about, you'll see a manager saying, and I'll go, why are you fighting him right now? Because this is the time to get past him and say, oh, we've already fought him.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice win for Ajouj. He's good, but McCracken he didn't lose anything off that. That kid can fight.
And scrolling down, was there any other fights at the bottom you want to talk about?
Yeah, I already talked about Kenny Mokohana. He looked really good, big time TKO. It was a knockout because you saw the guy's eyes and stuff. You also got to go with Dmitry Hrtsenko against Danilis Katizi. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Fight.
Well, Dmitry came on he's Ukrainian. And he did come off the front lines. He had 1 week. He was in the military.
What?
And so 1 week, they got him out of there because they did not. What's that?
1 week to prepare for this fight, or 1 week?
He was preparing while on the front lines.
Shut the front door.
Swear to God. And actually, fought a really good fight, got the win. And the whole thing that they're, the management is saying is, hey, if you sign him, we can get him to where he doesn't have to go back into the military. So it's one of those. Stephen Hill looked really good. He is a very good jiu-jitsu stylist, very dominating, grinding, grappling style. He looked great. Got a nice rear naked choke submission. So,
all right. Well, John, this is the moment of truth, man. Rate the card.
Oh, full card. You know what? I'm going to have to rate it down because and this is where, if I'm going to say full card, main card, I'm going to go just off the main card because there was a lot of fights on the full card that I did like Kenny Mokohana. I like Magomed Sharapov. The actual, the Dara Kelly, that was a tough fight itself. So there was a lot of really nice fights in the prelims. But as a main card with, Kieran not getting the finish and the way that Sinead and Harding ended up, the only fight that you can look at and go, that was fantastic, was one guy performance-wise, and that was, Yaroslav. So overall, 6.5.
Yeah, I'm about that too. I was thinking about a 5.5 or 6.
You're always lower than me.
I don't want people thinking that I'm biased, man. I mean, I
I'm
know
not
I
biased.
show a little
I'm being
bias every
honest.
once in a while, but
Six and a half.
I'm being extremely honest. I just said last week, the guys that did what they were supposed to do in last week's UFC card, well, the guys that did exactly what they were supposed to do in the Bellator card, that's exactly what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to get the finishes. Magomed Sharapov, Norvenu Jr., like they went out and did what they were supposed to do. They went out and got the finishes. Those are on the prelims. On the main card, every fighter could have fought harder. And I know what I'm saying. I get it. I've had those cards, man. Look, I fought Bobby Green. I fought like a jackass. I was talking to people in the crowd. I was looking at John Fitch after I got a little cut on my head. I'm like touching the blood. They're yelling at me to fight harder. And I'm like just goofing around. You have those nights, man, where you're just like, I'm out here having too much fun. I fucking loved fighting. And sometimes I didn't take it serious. And it cost me. The Bobby Green fight cost me. I didn't take it serious. And the same thing with the Yves Edwards fight. It cost me. I was joking around. I was talking to Jens Pulver. That one cost me big. That's fucking 20-something years later, and we're still talking about it. But that fight, like I was talking to Jens Pulver and Matt Hughes in the front row, winking at him, waving at him, and I'm like, watch this, I'm going to throw this guy right now. I'm like telling him things like that. Stupid, right? In this fight, if I look at this card, I was going to say about a 5.5 or 6. Yeah. And I give all the credit to, I didn't know the story about Dimitri, but to come out and get a win. Great job, young man. Great job, young man. That's very inspirational, very something to look forward to in terms of hopefully he does get signed so he doesn't have to go back. And then Amosov. Just solidifying the fact that he's the best welterweight in the world. Now, when I say that he's the best welterweight in the world, I want to remind people, he's the best welterweight in the world right now. His next fight, that could all change. Because as we said with Max Holloway, right? Max Holloway against Calvin Kattar, no one beats that guy.
No.
No one beats that guy. Then guess what?
But here comes
Volkanovski. There comes it goes from fight to fight. That's the way this thing goes. Yeah, and so that night, best welterweight in the world. Next fight against probably Jason Jackson.
We'll see.
May not be.
We'll
Every
see.
fight poses a different threat. So that's the way this cookie crumbles. All right. Well, hey, let's move on to the UFC. What do you got for us? But first, hey, I want to remind you guys all. I know, okay, that John and I are sexy.
Damn straight, baby.
This is why that we decided to do a little bit of a partnership with OnlyFans. So we have extra content available on there for you guys. And we also want you guys to go on there and reach out to us. It's free. You guys just go on there, just reach out to us and let us know what you guys want us to talk about on the show. We're trying to get more fan engagement. And this is a way for us to do it because we did a partnership with them. They have a sports department now that they're really trying to push. And so that's why we're part of this. So we're trying to get our fans to go there so we can interact
naked
more
pictures
with them.
of us.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Depends on what you tip me.
Maybe for Josh.
Yeah.
Josh will give you one cheek.
Might show you a little cinnamon roll. Who knows? Yeah. No, we're just, look, this is a good way for us to engage with our fans. We also are going to put up our fan questions there. We're going to put up the request for fan questions. You will only be able to submit your fan questions on OnlyFans. So we're going to start using that as a tool for people to come out and check it out. So hopefully you guys join us over there. Like I said, it's free. We're not charging anything. You know, there will be some content we put up that probably might be a charge, but that's like later on down the road. Right now, we're just doing this to get more fan engagement with you guys, more one-on-one with the fans. So join us over there when you guys get a chance.
Yep.
That is
very nice.
Very nice. All right, let's get into the UFC.
UFC got screwed over again, losing their main event. Man, it's like one of those. I felt really bad for Ryan Spann, who
see the interview?
No.
No, he was in tears, man.
Oh, was he? I'll tell you, and we talked about it before. I was like, you look at his last fight. He says, "This is the first time I ever really trained for a fight." And man, you could see it again when I saw him weigh in. I go, he trained again. He's looking good because at one time Ryan Spann was just kind of flat looking, and man, you could tell he's training. And then his opponent gets sick, and there's nothing you can do about it. It happens. Shit happens. And so they lost the fight. I feel bad for him because you never want that main event to get canceled.
No, what I would imagine since he weighed in is for him he'll get his show money. He won't get his win money.
Yeah,
and they'll try to match him up.
Fight back.
But
he was in a position. he was in a position, and this is where I really feel bad for him, is he was in a position, if he got the win in this, that was really going to put him in a sweet spot.
Yep.
You know, he was possibly one fight away, or maybe even no fights away from getting a title shot based upon his performance. That really, I thought, was going to be the determining factor. I mean, how he did against Krylov, but you know, it just kind of puts everything on hold for him a little bit. And that's tough.
Yeah. What people, I want fans to understand that going through a fight camp is very emotional, which is funny because I was just watching a little short clip with the post show for the UFC, and you had Rashad and Michael Chiesa on there with Karen Bryant. And I was watching that, and then they had said, I think it was Karen Bryant who posted it on her Twitter, and Rashad goes, it's very emotional, like to deal with your anxiety, to deal with your feelings, to deal with all these things. And then for your fight to be canceled, you're like, I did all this work. I spent thousands of dollars on trying to get prepared, whether it was massages, whether it was cryo chambers, whether it was acupuncturists, whether it was just
all the things that kept you
therapists.
Physically able to get back in the gym the next day.
You know, so there's a lot of emotion that goes along with it. So when I saw the video with Ryan Spann, kind of like my team put a lot of effort into me, you know, and I felt probably the best I'd ever felt, you know, coming into a fight.
Yeah, I didn't see that. But
And
that would have made me feel bad.
yeah, it's happened to me several times. I was supposed to fight Carlos Fodor. Remember him?
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be my fight instead of KJ Noons. Or no, after I fought KJ, they were going to have me fight Carlos Fodor. And then we found out that the UFC was like, all right, we're going to just basically shut down Strikeforce. So I wasn't going to fight Carlos Fodor. And then I was, so they just shut it down. They paid me my show money, and then we went about our business. Yeah. And then I went on to fight Nate.
Sweet.
So that was you know, but it was kind of this deal that it was very emotional. Like, it was like you get all amped up, you get ready to go, you're ready to fight this guy. This fighter is on your mind.
Yeah, it's
nonstop.
You have a focus.
Yeah. For me, it was, which Rashad said this too. He got this from Randy Couture, and it's exactly what I used to do. Which is, I don't know how I came about this. Maybe I had talked to Randy or somebody before, but it was something that just be prepared for the worst. And once you understood that you were prepared for the worst, it didn't matter what happened. I think that's why I loved fighting so much. Was that you can get knocked out, no big deal. Your day, like, you're sure your day's ruined?
No, the best part about getting knocked out is you don't feel it.
Yeah, that's very true. Unfortunately, that's fucking, I know this.
Unfortunately, it's true.
Very, very true. You don't feel it. You just don't realize until you wake up. You're like, damn, that sucked.
Yeah.
Horrible. You know, you realize you lost, and you're just like, damn it. Damn. But it's an emotional thing. And once you prepare yourself mentally for anything, like Michael Chiesa said, I used to hold it and bottle it all in and just not talk about it and just, like, you know, carry it. And then the anxiety would get over me. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't talk to anybody about it, but I would think it over in my head. I would literally lay in bed and go, okay, I can see myself getting knocked out by doing this. I can see myself, you know, getting submitted this way. I can see myself, I just would take whatever the fighter did really well. I could see myself getting caught this way. And I would play over the losses more so than I would play over the wins. And it was, people were like, well, why would you think about losses? Well, because mentally it helps me cope with whatever's going to happen. Because at the end of the day, right, I'm still alive. I'm still healthy. I still am doing what I love. I love to fight. That's it, man. I don't have to go to a 9-to-5 and sit in a fucking cubicle. Fuck, I'm blessed. That's the way I looked at my life. My whole life was a fucking game. I got to fucking play a sport my whole life. All these fighters, don't take it so personal. This is you're living your dream. God, not many people can say that. John, it's a blessing. We're blessed every single day to get up and go for, it sounds stupid. Get up at 5 a.m., go run. Who the fuck wants to do that?
No,
but it's a
good,
blessing.
You're getting paid to train, baby.
You look back at your life, you're like, man, I get paid to train. I got paid to fucking and get up and take care of my body and my health and do all the things. Man, blessing. Now on to the main event. Brendan Allen versus Andrew Muniz.
Well, I think Brendan Allen looked really good, but we know he's a good fighter, and he's, you know, ever since he made that change going, it was at the time with Sanford MMA, now Killcliff. He's had every fight has been good except for one. You know, He's really fought well. And in this, I thought going into this, I thought on the feet, Brendan Allen, I thought actually had an advantage because he moves well. He puts himself in good range. He's got a good sense of how far back he's got to just lay back as his opponent's throwing, and then he counters well. But I did not think, I'm just being honest, that he was going to get a submission against Muniz. Didn't think that was going to happen. And when he pulled it off, I was like, well, see, that's why you fight the fight, because I never would have called Brendan Allen submitting Andre Muniz. But he fought a great fight. And I do believe, though, Josh, it was his hands that set that up. Mm-hmm. He was getting to Muniz, even from the first round. He hurt Muniz. You could see him when he stung him. Mm-hmm. And over the course of the 3 rounds that it really went, he at multiple times hurt Muniz and made Muniz change what he's doing. He went and he wasn't able to feel comfortable in the fight. And when you're not feeling comfortable in the fight, it's tough. And things, that you're working harder, and everything just seemed in this case, in this matchup on this night, he just was a step ahead, and he had Muniz in trouble for most of the fight.
I think it was the cardio was the factor. Is it when you make someone, or not make someone, because Muniz didn't really try to get the takedowns either. He did the one time in the second round and got reversed, I believe it was the second round.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that fight, I had it actually a really close fight up until that reversal and the takedown attempt. And one fight could have changed the outcome or changed the direction of how this fight was going. Muniz looked good. He was good, landing some heavy shots. You could tell he had the bigger power on the feet.
Yep.
But with that bigger power, the fatigue set in, and that's why I think he was able to get the submission. I think when you're taking a predominantly a grappler and you're making him stand, and keeping it on the feet, they're not comfortable there, and so that comfort leads to anxiety, which anxiety leads to burning your conditioning, your cardio. Yeah, fatigue. You just, your body's more amped up. It's more like an adrenaline dump. It just hits you and you hit the ground and your arms and legs feel like jello and you have no control. You feel heavy and just can't move your body. And that's exactly what it looked like happened. Is that he fought 2 rounds on the feet, and when he got to the last round, he just didn't have it in him to stop anything with Allen getting to the takedown, getting almost right to mount, 3/4 mount, and they got the back and done. I mean, it was just one of those. I didn't look at Brendan Allen as being dominant, but coming out and finding a way to get the win. It wasn't a dominant performance.
Not dominant.
It was a good
not
fight,
dominant that Muniz didn't have his moments. Mm-hmm. But Brendan Allen was fighting the exact fight he needed to fight to get a win.
That's true. I think I would have liked to have. Well, no, he got the win. He got the finish. Not just the win. He got the finish.
Yeah.
So good on him.
Good doing it.
This is also another thing. There's a lot of pressure that goes along with, look, you were the co-main event. Then that fell off, and now you're the main event. I got to be honest. It didn't change me, but it made me think, this is weird. Like, I'd been the main event a couple of times before, but when I fought Patricky, my very last fight, it was supposed to be Matt Mitrione, I think Fedor. That fight, because Matt Mitrione had kidney stones. They pulled that fight, and that was in San Jose. It was my last fight that I had ever had. But I don't know, I recall being a little bit more jittery and like nervous about that fight because it was pushed to the main event. Yeah. I was like, well, this is not all eyes on me.
That's because it is, and you know your placement, you know what you've been doing, you know the media that's gone by and everything, and now you're expected, because look, the main event's got to be hopefully the best fight of the night is what we're always looking for, and so you have an expectation of this is what's expected of me as the co-main. And now that changes. Yeah. Now you're the main event. There's more expectations.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been in swing fights. When I fought,
that's a horrible position to be in.
Yeah, it was. I fought.
Let's explain what a swing fight is, because there are people might not know. When you're a swing fight, you have a fight card, we'll say, of 12 fights, but they know that they have only a certain amount of time for those main card fights, and they have to start at a certain point, and they might not get through all the prelims. So they're going to tell you, well, you're going to be the last prelim fight of the night, or we're going to swing you into another position if the other fights start to go fast, and we think that we're going to have a space. So you never know exactly when you could be brought in the prelims. You could be brought in somewhere within the main card, or you could be put in after the main event.
Yeah.
And you never know. And so your ability to even warm up is all screwed up.
Yep.
It's just a horrible position.
I was the swing fight for with Dwayne Ludwig in Fresno, California. It was fucking horrible, man. Like, okay, we were supposed to be the last prelim fight. And then it was like, okay, look, we ran out of time on the prelims, got to get to the main card. We're going to push you into the main card if there's time. Luckily, the first 2 fights in the main card like basically went fast. So they shoved us in there.
So
and then
shove you right in there.
Yep. Yeah. But it was like,
you didn't have to wait till after.
Yeah. So I kind of just stayed warming up a little bit. Yeah, that's the worst. I've never fought one, but I mean, I feel bad for the fighters that are fighting dark fights. Yeah. That sucks. All right, next fight. Go ahead, John. I'm going to let you take that one.
Next fight was Augusto Sakai against Dontel Mays, and that's about as much as I'm going to say because heavyweight matchup and just boring. I'm just sorry. Boring fight. Neither guy did anything special. Augusto Sakai gets the win. Okay, but let's go to the next one because that's the story right there.
Inspirational.
Tatiana Suarez taking on Montana De La Rosa and moving up in weight because normally she's a straw weight. This was at flyweight, so increase in size. But Tatiana coming off of a lot of health issues. She had a whole thing with cancer, and this was her first fight back in 2.5, 3 years now.
3 years.
And everyone talked when she was just starting out. Man, it was like, hey, this young lady is good. She can wrestle. She's super heavy on top. She forces people into bad positions, and everyone knew she's coming. Well, she's back. I'm back because she looked fantastic in that fight. And I'll give Montana. I think that the UFC actually put her in a position as far as who she was facing in Montana to say, we're not just going to give you a striker that you can take down. We're going to give you someone that's a good grappler. And they did. And I thought Montana actually, for a lot of it, she grappled very well. She got caught in that guillotine. She hung on to it for a while, but unable to get out. And finally it was locked on. Big win for Suarez. She's back. I really hope she goes back to strawweight. I think it's a perfect weight for her, but she's going to know, where her body's at, based off of everything that happened with all the treatments and everything. But, even if she stays at flyweight, she's going to be a contender there.
Yeah, can you pull up the rankings? Because I think De La Rosa's
I don't think she's in there.
De La Rosa's not in the rankings?
Oh, no, I was talking about.
No, Tatiana won't be in there yet.
Yeah.
No, she'd be one up. The flyweights is what she fought in.
Well, she fought at flyweight, but normally she would have been in the strawweights.
Yeah. But I'm saying that's where De La Rosa would be, though. So De La Rosa's not in the rankings.
No, De La Rosa would be in flyweights. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So she's not in the rankings right now. But that was a good fight for her to come back to.
Yep.
I mean, I want to see her fight in terms of, maybe like a Lauren Murphy. Maybe let's
just be honest.
Tracy Cortez.
Pull up Tatiana Suarez's record because she's already got a win against Carla Esparza, right?
Oh, does she? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
Alexa Grasso,
Carla Esparza, Nina Nunes, and now Montana.
Jeez.
Look, I did her fight when she fought Amanda Brundage. It was Amanda Cooper at the time, and I was like, I was a fan watching what she was doing, and I almost forgot what was going on because I was like, God damn, that was a nice move. I'm sitting there just thinking about it. I was like.
Shit, that'd be hard for me as a ref, man.
It's tough. You do sometimes because you're looking. You don't expect someone to be able to do certain things, and they do it. You go, God damn, that was nice. And again, you stop being the referee and you're being a fan. It's like stop.
Yeah.
But she's good. She's just really good.
Good for her, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how she does. I mean, because she is. I don't want to put her personal life out there, but I mean, it's no secret. She's together with Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix is a really great grappler.
And she was very good for Patchy.
Yep. Yes.
Got his head straight.
got them on a nutrition. They're working together, man.
Yep.
I love these little power couples.
Yeah.
These power couples are big time deals. I mean, you got look at who are the other ones? You have Cortez, whatever her name, Tracy Cortez and Ortega.
Brian
They're
Ortega.
together.
Yeah.
You know, I look at these. They're like, I look at them as power couples, people that are helping each other out and get motivated.
Rose Namajunas and Pat Barry.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, it can happen. It can work, and it's nice to see. Hopefully, the two of them stay strong because both of them are fantastic fighters. Both.
I don't think
and fantastic people.
Cortez and Brian are the thing anymore.
I think they broke up. I wasn't going to say so.
Okay. Sorry.
It happens. It happens.
This is life. It's also very hard to. It's also very hard to date a fighter. I dated a couple fighters beforehand. It's fucking brutal, man. You guys are fucking cranky on when you guys were in camps. Fuck, we're both cranky. We're like,
I was gonna say, no, you were never that way, right?
I was not too bad. I just was like quiet. Just for once, I could shut my mouth. I was always tired, man.
Dude, we need to get you back into a fight camp.
I was famous for fucking for overtraining, so I never had a lot of energy to do much. So, all right, next fight.
Here we go.
He's going back. Mike Malott against Johan Lanis. Malott just ran through him. Just better fighter everywhere. Stronger, faster. Stand-up was giving Johan problems just with the power, and then when he got it to the ground, beautiful setup on the arm triangle. Nice performance. It was a very nice performance. He looked good.
Yep. That other kid, this Trevor Peake kid against Eric Gonzalez.
Yeah.
This kid's a fighter. He was fucking throwing hammer fists, backhands. He didn't know what he was throwing, but he was throwing because he was landing some big shots.
Yep.
I mean, I love the energy that these younger fighters are bringing when they come in, and they're almost like throwing caution to the wind. Now, if they were fighting someone with a little bit more experience, it would backfire.
Yes.
But because you could tell he was exhausted after he got done landing those combinations. Had he not been able to have the fight not stopped, I would have been interested to see how this would have went on in the second and third round because he was so tired at the end. He's like, and then he sat against the fence, drinking water, wiping his nose. He was just dead. So, but it's fun to see these young, talented fighters go ahead and just let it all out. Just go out there and just do whatever you can. It was definitely reminded me of like myself and reminded me of like some other fighters too that I've known coming up that were just younger. I fought so careless when I was younger, man. It was crazy. I mean, my first fight with Gerald Streetman.
We just talked about it. Eve's
but I'm saying like with the Gerald Streetman fight, when I fought him, my first fight in the UFC, I jumped into his guard. This guy was one of Eddie Bravo's best. He was a brown belt or a black belt at the time. I think he was a brown belt at the time. And he was the guy doing the rubber guard. It was like it was the new thing at the time. And I was like, fuck. I was like jumping in. Even Rogan was talking about, man, he doesn't even seem like he cares.
Doesn't even care about the rubber guard.
I was like, yeah, I've been training with Dave Camarillo, man. Fuck, Dave was way better than Gerald Streetman. Fuck, Dave was fucking like leaps and bounds above him. I'm like, bro, you're not gonna get me. But anyways, yeah, just careless stuff. But Trevor fought a good fight, fun fight. Let it hang out. That's how you come into the UFC. Great job, buddy.
Yep.
Next,
I want to say that nice win by Jordan Levitt coming off. I love you. Said I can't end my career off of being teabagged.
nah.
He had the fight with Patty Pimblett, so he came back big time knockout win. That was a nice performance. But I got to go with O'Day Osborne. O'Day against Charles Johnson, who's been on fire, and O'Day gets the win, man.
Look, let's go about this though. Charles Johnson finally had to fight a fighter. Had to fight somebody. Had to fight somebody that was faster than him. And that just was slick on the feet and could do it everywhere. But he, O'Day just was the cleaner and the faster fighter. And Charles Johnson, like, he's phenomenal, man. When I watch him kickbox, I'm like, when I watch him fight, I'm like, damn, you got some beautiful techniques. But when you have to do it against someone who's just as good as you and faster, it poses a threat. It poses a problem because you're used to being that guy that can make people flinch. Yeah. You're used to being the guy that can make people flinch. you're used to being that guy that can make people jump off of you because of your movements and your feints. Well, that wasn't the case in this fight, and he had a hard time with that. You know, he was struggling with the movement. He was struggling with the combination.
He had his
of which
moments.
they come. He did. He definitely did.
He had his moments.
But I like the kid. I like the Charles Johnson kid. He's a very talented fighter, and then O'Day just had a great performance. Good job on him.
Yep.
Anything else?
That's about it.
That's about it. How do you rate this card?
I'm gonna be honest. I mean,
don't be too ruthless.
Well,
I thought some of the fighters,
I'm gonna be honest.
their asses off.
I'm gonna go again off of the main card. So I thought Mike Malott had a great fight. I thought he looked great, but dominant, and it almost to the point where you're looking and said outclassed. And then Tatiana, great fight. Augusto Sakai and Dontel Mays are the ones that they bring this one down. They brought this one way down, and because Brendan Allen had a good performance, so I'm going to say this is about a 7.
Oh, whew, that's high.
Oh, you're going to go lower than that.
Yeah, look, I agree with you though. Some fights, it was the story for me was Tatiana Suarez just coming back and dealing with all the health issues, and then being able to come back and perform the way she did in a weight class above.
And and especially 3 years, dude. Again, that's not easy.
Let's
not
not forget
pressure.
Montella Del Rosa was the first flyweight champion, correct?
No.
Who was?
First flyweight champion was
Carla Esparza? Carla Esparza?
No, she was strawweight. She was the first strawweight. It was the she's Native
I thought
American.
it was her.
I can't think of her name. No, she's Native American. Damn it.
Come on,
Try and
Dave.
beat me to the punch here.
Yeah, it's going to try.
I can't
but
remember her name because she
his
had
brain's
problems
not working.
making weight.
Oh, women's right.
And,
Women, yeah. Bro, Dave not even listening to the conversation right now.
No, I
my
knew it was
God.
women's, but I was like, why is it showing me
Women's
guys? But
flyweight.
that's why I was like,
First UFC flyweight champion.
yeah.
First.
It,
Right,
it,
probably
it,
should
it does.
have typed in
She
first.
does have an M in her name, so I'm trying to remember what it is. I can't.
I thought it was
that was her right there.
Montana De La Rosa.
No, it's not.
No?
No.
Wasn't Montana De La
Nico
Rosa?
Montana. Thank
Nico
you.
Montana. Jeez,
Montano.
man.
Montano.
Okay. Let me see a
Nico
picture of her.
Montano.
And then she lost the next fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, who did she lose to?
Well, first she had a weight problem and then a health issue, I believe.
Oh, wow.
There was a while
There
she was
she
having
is.
some
Nico Montana.
because she lost to. There's where she won it right there against Roxanne Modafari
Oh, Juliana.
because that
Pena.
was coming off of the Ultimate Fighter show. And
Wait, so then Juliana was the champ? Or no, she had to vacate because
she vacated it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
Never even defended it, and then lost to Juliana. In
wow.
bantamweight fight.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, hopefully she's all right. I don't know if she's still fighting. She's 34. All right.
Did
Well,
you
look,
rate Josh?
if I'm going to rate this, huh?
I was just checking. Did you rate? Because I thought you were about to move on.
He did
No,
not
I'm
rate.
about to rate. I'm about to rate right now.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
go
gonna-
5.
Yeah, I'm going to go about 5. I'm going to go 5. I'm going to go 5. Look, there's some fights that stood out in there. Like, I would have to agree with you. The O'Day fight was fantastic.
Yep.
I thought Joe Selecki actually looked pretty good. There was all the stuff about Aliv. I don't think he had a great performance.
Nope.
It was.
I was like really surprised that fight ended up the way it did.
I wanted him because he kind of inspired me a little bit, and I wanted to see a great performance out of him. It wasn't a great performance.
Nope.
But he's jitters. First fight in, big first fight in the UFC, and opening the card's not always easy either. There's no one really in the arena, and there's no one there anyways because the Apex.
I was gonna say,
But it
didn't matter who you were.
Yeah. But this young girl, Jasmine, whatever her name was, she fought a good fight against someone who's really good on the feet. Trevor Peak, he piqued my interest. I'm excited for him to see what he does. And then moving on, Tatiana was the name, and then the main event fell off. I'm gonna give it probably like a 5.5.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
You're a harder grader. If
I am a harder
if
grader.
people are going to go to school, they want me as their teacher.
Most likely, yeah. I am a good coach, though. I am.
There you go.
I am.
Okay.
All right,
Define
let's
good.
go. What do you got for us?
So, do
Give
you
us
guys
some
want
news.
to pick something from here that you?
No,
I think the
we
Dana
want-
White
we
thing
want-
you guys were.
Yeah.
Let's roll into this one. So, Dana White was probed after UFC last night. He was probed about the Conor McGregor suspension on
Probed? Did he
Tough
really get probed?
by the
That's just
by the
that's
media.
bad terminology. If you're asking
Was it
me.
the orifices or what?
That's it's great terminology. Probed
That's
because
horrible,
probe's the right word
dude.
because
Yeah.
the media.
No, he was asked or questioned. He wasn't probed.
Yeah, he was probed.
I'm defending Dana now.
Jeez, man. Jeez. Never thought I'd hear that day. All right, let's go ahead. Go into it. He was asked a question about
the Conor McGregor Tough stuff, where there was rumors put out that Conor had got people taken off of Tough, so that
It's not rumors.
Okay, well,
Why are you saying it's a rumor?
Because I'm going off the facts. That are
You're
available
not.
to us.
You're not going off of facts because facts are there that there were people that were removed from the show to have other people put on. That's the facts.
Yeah.
Well, that's what was said. You don't know that.
No. That's not what was said. That's facts. Those people are off the show and other people were brought on the show.
Okay, but you don't know the fact is that you don't know.
No,
the fact.
I do know the fact. You don't know the fact, and you just keep on trying to nullify it because you are nut hugging somebody.
He's a troll. He loves Dana White.
I'm
He's
just
a Dana
telling
White
you.
nut hugger.
You don't know the reason they were taken off. You just suspect.
You're right.
that
I
it's
don't
that.
know the reason.
Thank you.
I cannot absolutely say the reason, but I know
That's all I'm
because
saying.
I know the people that train with them that yes, they were taken off.
Yeah, we know they were taken off, but we don't know why.
Well, what did you just say?
Yeah, they were taken off, but we don't know why.
You guys.
I love it.
Well, Dana came out and he did it. You can pull it up on MMA Junkie off their Instagram. I mean, the interview's there. He his very first breath is, I don't know what you're talking about, but when he finishes up,
That's a lie.
he says that Dana White knows everything that goes on in that show, everything. So
In
to
The
say
Ultimate
that- to
Fighter,
say that, in
especially.
the Ultimate Fighter, yeah. So for him to say that, that's not true, which is fine. I mean, like, look, he doesn't have to answer. These
Doesn't have to
questions
answer
about,
it.
Yeah, but right there it says Conor's going to get some things that he wants. If that's what he wants, then that's what he wants. I mean, like, I'm being honest right now. Like, Dana says that those guys are going to probably, like, at the end of this thing, he says, yeah, but like those guys aren't just going to be gone. We're going to take care of them.
No, he's not.
Now,
Okay,
look,
his way of taking care of them is this. I'll give you a spot on the Dana White Contender Series.
possibly,
I'll give you a fight on that.
but here's the thing, though.
Hold on. No. I want to ask you this simple question. Is that equivalent to being on Tough?
Let me ask you this simple question.
Answer my question first.
No.
Answer
Okay,
my
I will answer
question.
I will answer your question.
And then you can answer
Okay.
yours.
No, it's not.
Okay, you're exactly right. They are not equivalent.
But I have firsthand experience. John Fitch was at the airport and they called him for Tough 1 and they canceled him. But they signed him. They signed him to a contracted deal.
But that's not what happened here.
But
Because where
I don't
was
know.
John Fitch?
I don't know that.
No. Where was John Fitch?
He was at the airport.
At the airport.
He was at the
wasn't-
airport.
he wasn't
on
there.
his way. No, I get it.
He
I
wasn't
get what you're
there.
saying.
He wasn't in that house.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get it. But they did take care of him. He got a contract. I'm going based off of, look, the history is if they take someone off, because John Fitch is the only reference I can use, that he's in. So he's in.
You can take a look at this also, and Conor has a history of this because he did it the first time that he was on the show because there was a guy who ended up in the finals, Artem Lobov. He lost.
His best buddy now in court.
Yeah. I talked to Artem in Dublin.
Was
But
he there?
Lost. Yeah.
What did he
He was
say?
there.
Come on, John. Don't hold out on us. What did he
No.
say? Said
So,
this
anyways, he
motherfucker.
was there and fought to get into the house and lost. And then all of a sudden, he's coming in. So,
Hey, I mean, Conor's gonna do what Conor's gonna do. Like, let's be honest, man.
Here's the whole point.
I'm not trying to troll. I just think that
I'm not trolling anyone, but here's the point. The reporter asked Dana that, and the first thing he says, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Okay, not true. And then he says, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Those guys that got kicked off, they give a shit, Dana. Those guys worked hard to get to that point. Maybe you've never had to work that hard to get to a certain point when it comes to fighting, but those guys did. and they did everything that they were supposed to do. They went out, they won to get that position, and then you guys took it away from them. So they give a shit.
I mean, like I said though, John. I mean, we don't know. They could have got a 4-fight deal or a 6-fight deal locked up. Because here, when John got his
is
deal,
your name Podcast Dave?
No, I'm just saying
They
could have.
You're just trolling like a big dog now. Look at you,
John. The biggest thing that John Fitch said is that he's glad he didn't go into that house.
Of course he is, because he knows what the contract is now.
Yeah, exactly. He's so glad he didn't go into that house. That house fucking contract is trash. It's garbage.
But there is value, no matter what.
There is.
In being part of that show.
Let's be honest. For John Fitch, there was no value. Because he wasn't going to get any. No one would have liked. He would have been more of a hermit on that show than anybody else.
He'd have been horrible.
He would have been horrible. He would have fucking. They probably would have.
But he might have been pissing on Lieben's bed.
John can drink, man. That guy can drink. So he used to. I haven't hung out with him drinking in a long time, but
or spritzing. What does he say? I'm spritz.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What else you got for us, Dave?
All right. Let's do this last one here. Dana White saying that he'll do the Islam Volk rematch, but he wants to see Volk fight Yair first, and then Islam get one more fight in. Doesn't quite know what the Islam game plan is, but he would like to get one more fight in.
Not being fair to Volk. And I'm not saying it because of the way the fight went. No, okay. Well, here's why I'm saying it's not fair to Volk. Volk at this point goes up in weight and fights Islam. Now you want him to go back down in weight to fight Yair, and I understand why.
Never thought about it.
I understand why, but now he's got to lose that weight. He's got to lose the muscle mass and a little bit of things that he gained and stuff, and then you're going to let him come back and try it again. It's not fair to him. What's fair to him is let him stay where he's at, in the position that he's at, and let him fight one more time. That's what is truly fair to Volkanovski. You're asking a lot of him. Going up and down in weight is not easy.
All right. Yeah, I was a little surprised because I feel like the cash cow would be to do it right away. Because like what happens if you go down and he loses the Yair, or Islam loses to whoever's next, Dariush or Charles? Like, what happens? Now you've lost that big time money fight. Over. Yeah, which means that there's something on Dana's mind that he wasn't impressed with. He wasn't impressed. Maybe he was impressed with Volk in the fight. He wasn't impressed with Islam in the fight, or maybe he was. Maybe it didn't do the numbers that he was projecting it to do.
Maybe.
Whatever it is, something just doesn't, like, if it was such a fight that like he felt like it could have made him a ton of money, there's no doubt he would have jumped all over that. Dana looks at the numbers, he looks at the figures, he looks at exactly what's going to make him money, and that's what he would have done. He doesn't think this fight's going to make him money.
Bottom line is pay-per-view and digital.
Yep. And he couldn't commit to even whether the rematch would happen after they both fought, because he can't, because he doesn't know if either one of them is going to lose.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind. All right, next. No, keep coming, Dave.
Huh?
Keep coming.
Just keep them coming.
All right.
Come on, Dave.
Let's roll into fight news here. Cody Garbrandt has a bantamweight bout set for March 4th.
Trevor Jones.
Trevon Jones.
Trevon, sorry. Cody needs to get a win. And he's going to have to utilize some wrestling. He's going to have to keep his chin tucked, and I don't know, man. I don't know if he's in the same mental space that he used to be in. That's it. He can't afford to take can't afford to keep taking big knockouts, man. His last fight wasn't good when he fought Kai Kara-France.
Nope.
I like Cody a lot.
I love Cody. Great guy.
I did the fight companion with him on Brendan's show, and super nice guy. And I've known him for a while. He just kind of a cool guy, nice guy. Keeps to himself a little bit. Soft spoken, really fun to talk to and hang out with. But in the fight world, I mean, he's running on the end there. He's got to be careful. So
is the chin gone?
I don't know if it's gone, because he can still take a shot, but he just can't take too many of them. Like, you take 2 or 3. Like, he'll take a good hard first shot, but then it's the next shot and the next shot. Like, Kara-France didn't just like hit him one stunner, the one hitter stunner or whatever it is. He didn't hit him with that.
Pedro Munoz did.
Yeah,
and here's the problem. 2 times with TJ.
Yeah.
Pedro Kaikara.
He had a win in there somewhere.
Yeah, against
Assunção. Yeah, where he knocked him out. Beautiful knockout. Next fight.
Yep.
Oh.
This
Gamrot
is the
stepping in
fight. This is the one that I'm looking forward to. I think this is a fantastic fight. Like, I love Jalen Turner. He is huge, which might not help him in this matchup, because if there's one thing we know Gamrot is going to do is Gamrot is going to wrestle. He's going to try to wrestle Jalen Turner to death, and that's what he does when he fights good fighters. But Gamrot's got, if you take a look at his record, he's got some big names on that resume. He is a solid ass fighter, and that's going to be a tough fight for Jalen. Jalen can win it, and he can definitely win it by catching him on one of those takedown attempts. But you take a look at that. He's got a lot of big names on there. You know?
Yeah, Norman Park. Norman Park's a good fighter out of KSW.
Yep.
Really good fighters. Holtzman, Stevens, Ferreira.
Sarukian. But if you go down, look, you got Kleber Erbst down there. You also have Mansour Barnaoui.
Oh,
you got a win against him. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Wrestled him to death.
Wow.
Yep. He's got some big names on that.
I didn't, John, you were telling me a while back. Barnaoui took Islam Makhachev to the distance in a 5-round fight, correct?
I'll tell you what, I've had people watch that fight. Most of them say Barnaoui won the fight.
I got to go and watch it. I want to see.
You need to watch it.
This
is
when they were this when they were young.
Yeah, no, this is 10 years ago. This is 10 years ago. But Barnaoui had points taken from him in the fight, which were ridiculous. So,
interesting. But Barnaoui is he's in the Bellator Lightweight World Grand Prix.
Yep, he's fighting Primus.
Fighting Brent Primus.
Which is a great matchup if you're talking about, because both have great ground games, and Brent Primus got a hell of a jiu-jitsu game.
Yeah, he's just got to learn that when it's not working to get up on his feet.
Yeah, don't go back to the same submission.
Super frustrating. Yeah. All right, next.
We'll wrap up there.
That'll kind of wrap us up. All right, well, hey.
I get to go to sleep.
Before we cut out, though, go to onlyfans.com/weighing in. Make sure you guys, it's free, guys. Just subscribe to our channel there. We'll be able to get more in contact with you guys. We'll be posting some videos and some stuff that we're doing on our own. John out on his farm, me, whatever, on the road, or me at the gym, or me doing whatever. So we're going to do some more extra content for you guys there. And you guys can actually have more fan engagement with us. That is the point of us being there, like I said. Check us out there at onlyfans.com/weighing in. And make sure you guys go to weighingInmerch.com. Pick up some of our hoodies. It's still cold outside. It snowed a lot this last weekend, or this last week, I should say. There you go.
All the way from Ireland, man. Had only my hoodie.
Plenty all sweaty warm. And shit.
Plenty warm. No
it's
problems.
all sweaty and yuck.
Not sweaty. Fantastic.
Probably got like butt crack sweat. Kind of came up the top.
That's bad. Don't have butt crack sweat. All right, for everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. We hope you had fun. We did, and we will see you.